Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We're delighted here today to have Kyle Rahn with us, the president and CEO for United Way Southern Nevada, who is doing just critical work right now out in our community in this COVID-19 era. So, Kyle, thank you for joining us for a quick interview and update.
Thanks for having me, Scott. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And of course, our nonprofit members are just a huge part of the Henderson Chamber. And we have our own initiative called Community Cares, where we try and align our nonprofit members with different business interests. Certainly, United Way is one of those. And Kyle and I were just talking. United Way they are an experienced organization. And so when you are contributing, donating, whether that's money or volunteerism, the United Way really has the backbone and knows how to match you up with your needs. So right now, specifically, Kyle, you have the Emergency Assistance and Community Needs Fund. What has happened with that, and what does that mean out there in the community?
Well, it's a wonderful thing. When COVID hit, it was evident to me that we needed a fund for basic immediate needs. So we set this, we call it the EACN, Emergency Assistance and Community Needs Fund for United Way of Southern Nevada. So we set it up, and Bank of America was kind enough to give us the account with no fees. So this is a mechanism, though, that we have used for 30 years. It's used normally for our emergency food and shelter program. That is, money is given to United Ways across the United States from FEMA, which is part of Homeland Security. And we have an RFP process for nonprofit direct delivery partners. They reply, they tell us what their needs are, and then they're vetted by a local board that are designed and made up of volunteers through the federal program. For instance, there has to be someone who's in homelessness, sheltering, someone in food, and then you have to have a philanthropist. So that's the local board that vets and looks at the RFPs and then determines the amount of funding that goes to those organizations. So to present, we have, by the end of this week, we will have put out $1,861,000. So for immediate basic needs, yeah, so food, shelter, and those go to those direct organizations. There's 27 agencies now that are receiving this funding. And when someone needs help, they go to that organization in their community, and you can find it through 211. You can also find those organizations on our website that are receiving this money. But the great news is that we always get money. Congress always allocates money through the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. With the last round of stimulus, they have determined that United Way of Southern Nevada is going to get $2.4 million to put through the same mechanism that I've been using for the Emergency Assistance and Community Needs. So that's just more help on the way. So we're waiting for that money to be released, another tranche. You know, the government's a little slower than we are, but we'll get it and it'll get out there. So I'm very, very thrilled and happy to know that there's, it's like the Calvary, help is on the way.
Right. Well, that is fantastic news for all of Southern Nevada, and knowing that that money is also going into, your tried and trusted hands to disseminate and get out in the community is that's good news, and that's very very pleased to hear that, and congratulations on being able to get that money at work, I guess, out into the community.
Thank you. In addition to that, one of the other things that we're doing quite effectively is we have launched Volunteer Connect, and I think you're familiar with it, but the community at large may not be. So there's a tremendous amount of opportunities to volunteer, whether it's physically being out there, those who are not at risk, who are comfortable, but also there's virtual volunteer opportunities. So we have launched that in the last several weeks. It's volunteer.connect. You can find it on our website, just Google it, but you can sign up. Nonprofits and community entities will list their opportunity, and then as a volunteer, you can sign up and be matched. So at a time like this, it is so incredibly critical. We're getting about 400 to 500 phone calls at United Way a week. Even though there's 211, where most people who are in need would call. It's run by DHHS. It's actually started by United Way many, many, many years ago, but DHHS runs it here in our state. But what we found is people still are calling United Way because they want to talk to a live person. You know, what way do I go? What direction? So between the volunteer opportunities and those who are looking for help, we are just being inundated. So having virtual volunteers that could call some of these people back for us is huge. So there's tons of things people can be doing to help.
Right. And I think at times people, they feel kind of helpless if they're sitting at home and they want to volunteer. You have social distancing coming into play. So, your match program is a great avenue and does create many options for volunteers, whether it's financial or their time, to align and once again, vetted by the United Way. So, that time and money is going to good work. So that's good to know. So maybe just one more item then in regards to the United Way. What are you seeing? What are you most concerned about, Kyle, as far as the types of requests that you're getting, or the needs out there? What's growing? What does the business community and our citizens need to know and watch for, and what trends to watch for?
Well, I think it's really important that as the state of Nevada relies on the social sector for a lot of the direct services, that would be the United Ways and the other nonprofits, that we be mindful as donors and citizens that those nonprofits are struggling to maintain capacity as well. So I've really, in all the interviews I've given, I say, if you have a favorite nonprofit, please give directly to them right now and make it undesignated. That means that keeps the lights on, the people paid, because they are providing a vital service to the community. We convene the nonprofit community every Thursday at 2:00. We talk about emergency needs. What are they seeing? We have the emergency assistance, the first responders on the call. We know there are a lot of our nonprofits don't have any PPE protection, and they're out there on the front lines. So those are the immediate needs. So we address those every week, and we find challenges and then we find solutions, which United Way I think is really good at that. But it's all working together. So I always want to say to everyone, if you have a favorite nonprofit, right now is the time. And a dollar given is a dollar they didn't have. It's the same thing I say about our emergency assistance and community needs fund. When you put a dollar in the top, it comes out as a dollar in the bottom. And it's the dollar that that person did not have. So that's important. I also am seeing that this is going to go on for quite a while. The need for the assistance that we are providing through our Emergency Assistance and Community Needs Fund. I do know that in times of crisis like this and social isolation, it does challenge us from a mental health perspective, staying positive, upbeat. So we're starting to see needs for counseling, starting to see the need for financial help for daycare. So as people go back to work, they've not been working, how do you pay? You have to pay ahead of time for your child for childcare. So there are systemic problems that are arising as a result of COVID that it's almost like springtime where the daffodils just start popping up, and it's a challenge. So United Way is working with all the nonprofit partners and everyone that we can to help figure out a solution and continue to raise more money. And I'm also happy to say that United Way Worldwide, which we are, a member organization of, sees and understands the challenges Southern Nevada is facing, and they sent us some money this weekend in the form of a grant, unsolicited. I didn't even have to call. So that's a blessing.
That's well earned, and that's a result of your good reputation. So, well, excellent. That's a great synopsis of everything United Way Southern Nevada is doing. Kyle, we appreciate you coming on and sharing that with the membership. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you out in the community.
Thank you, and let me know how I can help.